start. Reese.
Mulligan.
Wake up.
It's Monday, April 19th, and Vince Williams is a Pittsburgh Steeler. Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to H&J Talk Sports. I'm your host, Joe Riggy, and the man who's always got the plan and is always here to party, Harry Baxter. Harry.
Another day, another Monday.
Another podcast.
Yep, let's get it going.
Get it going. We got, like I said, Vince Williams is a Steeler. The Penguins got Jeff Carter at the trade deadline. And a lot of other stuff this week. But we're going to jump right into some... let's start with Steelers since Vince Williams is back. Vince Williams is back.
Yeah, that's surprising. I don't think a lot of people expected that.
No.
Everybody knew that they were going to cut him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a loyal guy. He wanted to stay. So,
that's good. One of the ones we were really disappointed about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm happy.
Old, but he represents real Pittsburgh Steelers football.
Yeah. He's not a game changer, but he's a loyal guy. He's a solid player.
Yeah.
He's been playing for a while.
But things are looking different now. I mean, a few weeks ago, it was kind of doom and gloom with the Steelers. They were losing everybody. We had that 1 week before free agency or the week of free agency where everyone got cut or walked away. And now you got Tyson Alalalu who came back at a discount. Vince Williams is back. Juju's back. It's not looking so doom and gloom anymore.
Well, we say that, but I think the division got a little tougher as well.
It did.
Clowney going to the Browns. That's going to be tough. I think a lot of people now have us as the third best team in the division. And
yeah. I mean, there's still a lot of unknowns with the Steelers.
There are.
Mm-hmm. Ben being a big one. But before we get too far into this show, I have to issue an apology to our viewers and our listeners about something that we've done in the past. And I feel like we've let everybody down. As I go back and edit these shows every week for the weekly recap, I notice things. And I've noticed when talking Steelers, we've said a lot of times the Steelers have holes to fill. And not once have we made a joke about that. And I feel like we've let everyone down.
Missed opportunities.
Because week after week, I feel like we've said Steelers got a lot of holes to fill. Steelers got a lot of holes to fill. And not once has anyone made a joke about that being an innuendo to something. So to make it up, I went back and I made a list of the top 5 jokes we could say to the Steelers got a lot of holes to fill.
Oh, this should be good.
To make up for everybody that's missed. So you can go back and listen, or anytime we miss it in the future, you can just fill in one of these jokes. So, Harry, I need you to be my setup man.
All right.
So you're going to say the Steelers have a lot of holes to fill, and I'm going to proceed with the best 5 jokes. So whenever you're ready.
Let's go. Yada, yada, yada. The Steelers have a lot of holes to fill.
I bet they do.
Bada-bum.
Number 2.
Number 2 on the list. The Steelers have a lot of holes to fill.
Your mom has a lot of holes to fill.
Dang, get personal.
Very
All
personal.
right.
Number 3.
The Steelers have a lot of holes to fill.
Who's going to step up and fill those holes? Number
so proud
4.
of yourself.
This is the most work I've spent on the show ever. Number 4.
The Steelers have a lot of holes to fill.
You would know about filling holes, wouldn't you?
Oh.
And number 5 is a classic.
I hope you saved the best for last.
I did.
Here we go. The Steelers have a lot of holes to fill.
That's what she said.
The classic. It is a classic.
It is.
All right.
Moving on. Now that I got that out of the way, and I feel like we didn't let everyone down. Vince Williams is the Steelers. We're psyched about it. Briefly, we've talked about it. We've said it. People keep trying to draft Justin Fields for some reason. More news this week. People reporting that the Steelers have leaked. They're definitely drafting a running back in the 1st and 2nd round. Najee Harris.
I think that's what I'm seeing on a lot of mock drafts. A lot of people, Najee Harris.
I'm still confused why people think Justin Fields is falling to 24 and why people Steelers.
If he falls, I would take him. But if he's not there, I think Najee Harris is where it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There's always surprises.
Someone did an interesting breakdown. It's like they did a graph of the amount of time the Steelers spent meeting all the drafts in person and virtually. Mm-hmm. And Najee Harris by far had the biggest bar on the graph. So
Yeah.
something to point out. They've spent a lot of time with him.
Oh, that's good. I think I read somewhere that he enjoyed the Steelers meetings
That's what he
more than
said.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good fit. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Oh, and speaking, as we're talking about running backs, James Conner, he's now Cardinal.
He's a Cardinal. Could be a good fit
Cardinals,
for him.
man, they got an interesting team.
They
See,
signed a lot this year, didn't they?
yeah. Oh well, James. I'm a fan of James. He wasn't, game changing, but hey, he's a good guy.
I like his story. I like him as a person, so I hope he gets it together. I'm not
Yeah.
sure why it didn't work out for him. He had that big first year and then just didn't do much. So
Do your thing.
hopefully he gets it together and has a big year in Arizona. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, to round up Steelers today, another thing people are doing is calling over under 9 games on the Steelers.
That's
So
what say. That's Vegas's prediction.
Vegas is calling over under on 9 games. What's our over under, Harry? What do you think?
9 games, pretty fair. I think that could be pretty accurate.
You
There's a
think
lot of unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
If I was betting, oh man, that's tough.
That
That's
is
right
tough.
around where I would say. The other teams in the division, the Ravens, they were 11,
Mm-hmm.
Browns 10, Bengals 6.5. So we'll see.
I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say over 9 games. I'm
You
going to wait
think
to
over
get
9
closer.
games?
Yeah. Ben's my wild card. I mean, we got a lot of pieces back. I think we're going to draft the stud running back. I think the wide receivers are going to step up this year. Ben's the wild card. Can he have a big season, or is he going to show his age like the end of last year?
I
If
hope
he
over 9.
does, can Dwayne Haskins jump in and do something? Will they put Dwayne Haskins in? I'm always nervous that they're going to ride Ben until Ben can't go anymore.
If they stay healthy, I think getting over 9 games is doable. But man, you get injuries. If Ben goes down or you start losing some of these linebackers, Bush or Watt, it's going to be under 9 for sure.
Yeah.
And I actually think I would take over on the Browns. I like the Browns to win the AFC North this year.
I always count on the Browns to Brown, though.
I think Steelers and Ravens are going to battle for second. But, man.
Lamar Jackson struggled this year. We'll see what he does. Maybe the Ravens aren't as good as everyone thinks.
I think they're a little overrated, but I think they still got a lot of talent. They haven't fixed a lot of the holes.
Yeah.
We'll see what they draft.
We'll see what they draft. I covered that already.
But right now, I think the Browns are the favorite. Browns are loaded. They got a lot of talent.
I hate to say that. But yeah. And especially how
Browns.
they played the end of last season. They finally started to live up to their potential of what they are on paper.
If they can keep the momentum going from last season, they're going to be tough.
Yeah.
One of the better teams in the AFC. So let's
I'm
see.
going over 9, though.
But no expectations for the Steelers. Low expectations. That's good. Less pressure.
That's pressure.
Out of the spotlight for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they can build something good. Get going.
Yep.
I'd rather be underestimated.
Always. You're less
Always.
disappointed if you fail and less
Always.
pressure.
When the bar's low, especially this coming season, they could surprise people.
Yeah.
I like it.
Is Tomlin ever on the hot seat? Is that a thing to bring up?
No. I don't think so.
I mean, they get rid of Randy Fitchner. So we got Matt Canada, which is a new look on offense, hopefully.
I think
when they start getting rid of the coordinators, you got to think.
He dealt with a lot of injuries last year. And last year was a weird year with the COVID and everything.
Yeah.
I don't hold that too much against him. He's gonna have this coming up year. It's gonna be a big year for him, coaching wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's gonna put in a lot of work. It's getting tougher now because you don't have those players when you had Brown and Bell and all that stuff. So
yeah,
the coaching's more valuable now.
That's true. You don't get your superstars. You gotta show out as a coach a little bit.
But he's a defensive minded coach. He was a DB,
Mm-hmm.
and the defense is one of the highlights on the team. So I think as long as the defense stays really well and they can find an offensive coordinator to help with the offense, I think he's okay.
Well, hopefully Matt Canada can do something because I feel like Randy Fitchner was pulling out of the McDonald's playbook, honestly. And I don't know if it was his fault. I don't know if it was Ben's fault because Ben likes the plays. I'm not sure who's to blame, but
I feel like he got figured out, and then the offense was just getting bagged for the rest of the season.
And he couldn't adapt to it.
Well,
I mean, the only time they did good was when Ben took over and did the play calling himself
yeah,
when he was
it was a
calling
good
out of the
move.
huddle. Yeah. So that's another thing we haven't talked about. It could be exciting to see the offense with Matt Canada.
Yeah,
Go
I like it.
Canada.
New wrinkle. Let's see it.
New wrinkle. I like that. The Pittsburgh Penguins did not do what I thought they would this week.
It's the first week you've been wrong
First week I've
on
been
your
wrong in a
prediction.
while. Harry was very proud of his prediction this week, and he was way wrong.
I was
He
wrong.
said 3-0.
I don't
Nope.
think I've gotten one right yet, but that's okay. No, I did get one. I got last one.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
I said 2-1
You said 3 and 1. 3
or
and 1.
3-1.
Right?
Yeah. They lost
No.
to the Flyers in overtime, so at least they got a point, and they split the series with Buffalo. And they lost a big opportunity on Sunday to pull ahead of the Islanders in the standings. And they look tired. That's all I can say.
Well, that was the end of a long road trip. I mean, they played, 8 out of 9 games on the road. Yeah, I mean, that's tough.
Yeah. Long
2
road
Boston,
trip.
2 New York, 2 New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
2 Buffalo with a home game in Philly.
Home game in Philly. Now they're back at home. A lot of games, a lot
And
of
they got-
injuries.
Yeah, now they got all next week they're home.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right.
Especially Sunday, they look tired.
Yeah, I think it hit on that today,
It did.
yesterday.
Trade deadline. We didn't talk on the podcast yet. I went on Instagram and gave my initial thoughts. And my initial thoughts on the Jeff Carter trade were on 50-50. You didn't give up much. I thought there were better people out there maybe, but not a big. So I was 50-50. After thinking about it a little bit, I kind of changed to 60-40 positive. And after seeing him play, now maybe like 70-30 positive.
All right.
So it's growing. I think it was a good move. You know, out in LA, I really don't watch him play much. So I didn't know he could still skate. He's old as shit. So when the deal first went through, it kind of reminded me last year, the Penguins got Patrick Marleau, who's also old. Similar type player. He was an offensive guy when he was younger. He still is, but he just looked old. So far, Jeff Carter is good. He's still fast, which surprised me, and he's bigger than I remembered. So could be a good pickup. He didn't give up much, and if he can help you in the playoffs, I mean, he's won 2 cups with LA, so could be a big move. Or 1 cup. I don't know. I think they won 2. I can't remember. It's been a while.
3 weeks to the playoffs.
In 3 weeks to the playoffs. We're getting close. Injuries are going to help. Hopefully Malkin and Kapanen's supposed to be back soon. Unfortunately, I can't think of names right now. I'm half asleep. Why can't I think of names? Still injured. Well, Malkin and Kapanen are getting close. Those should be back before the playoffs start. Hopefully Malkin's been skating. I don't know if Kapanen's been skating or not. I think they said he has. So they're getting close to return, and that's going to help because I think that's another problem we saw with the Penguins today is you can tell that with their depth, they look tired. Brandon Tanev, that's who I couldn't think of for some reason. Brandon Tanev, unfortunately, looks like he won't be back for the start of playoffs, which is going to hurt. I felt like you noticed his absence a lot today. In a game where you could have used him on the 4th or 3rd line, just causing some havoc. You noticed it. So if he's not back for the start of the playoffs, hopefully he doesn't miss much time.
It's a tough one. Tough loss.
A lot of tough losses. One thing I want to do too. I wanted to give a quick Matheson and Cody Ceci appreciation just moment because these 2 guys have killed it on defense this year. And I feel like that's one of the reasons the Penguins have been so good. Matheson was a good player in Florida. He was up and down. Cody Ceci, I don't know if Harry and the more casual hockey fans know this. Toronto made fun of us when we brought him in. Because he's not very good. He makes a lot of mistakes. And when he first came in, both of them struggled the first few weeks of the season when Pittsburgh was struggling. They both got injured. And since they've came back, they've been lights out. I mean, really good. And Toronto fans were like, wait and see. With Cody Ceci, he was good with us when he started. Wait and see. Well, guys, there's a week left in the season. He's been good all season. So Toronto, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but he's been good and he likes Pittsburgh. And that pair has been lights out. And they've had a lot to do with why the Penguins have been really good this year. They've really evened out. I mean, we had a lot of, I don't want to say holes. We've had a lot of gaps in the defense. And those two guys have stepped up a lot of gaps. Gap joke, maybe. But they've stepped up in those gaps. And they've done a good job. So hopefully they keep it up for the playoffs because I feel like those guys are clutch. Matheson reminds me a lot of Trevor Daley. He's very mobile and offensive. So
I remember Daley. He was good.
It's good. And since he left, I feel like they've been struggling to find someone like that. Justin Schultz was that for a year, but then he kind of fell off. So I feel like Matheson's that guy. CC is solid. Good looking defense.
Yeah, they go. Defense wins championships.
Defense does win championships. True
3
that.
weeks to go. It's time to get it together right now.
So the week coming up, there's a lot of games this week before our next podcast. We got New Jersey 3 times. Mini playoff series against New Jersey. And then we got Boston on Sunday, next Sunday.
Ooh, but the week after that.
The week after that, the last week, it gets tough. They have some tough games.
The week after that. Yeah. The next, you got New Jersey, then Boston, and Washington, and Philly.
Yeah.
You finish with Buffalo. 2
games against Boston, Washington, and Philly in a row. That could be a tough stretch.
Get some momentum this week. It's going to be.
You better clean up against New Jersey, especially after dropping a game against Buffalo. But I will say, because I've been looking at these playoff seedings, I don't know if you want to get in first place. Because if you squeeze in first place and Boston's sitting in 4th, the Penguins seem to struggle with Boston. I don't think you want to play Boston in the first round.
You don't think? But they finally got the monkey off the back. They got the win in Boston.
Boston still winning the season series, though. Boston would be the one I would play the Caps in the first round before Bruins.
Nah, you got to overcome that stuff. You got to play.
I think ideally you sit in that second spot and you play the Islanders in the first round. The Islanders have gave Pittsburgh some trouble with their speed this year, but we've still got the number winning that season series. I think that's your best bet, unless you pull into first and the Rangers somehow pull up and take Boston's spot. That could
how important is home ice? The difference between a third and second.
I don't think it's that important.
You don't think? You think they can win? You think they will win, whether they're third seed or second seed?
Yeah, especially with COVID and you don't got fans. I mean, there are some fans now, but I think it's been discussed.
Takes the energy out. It's definitely different.
It does without the fans, so it's less of a. But they've discussed, I think, even moving back to a bubble for the playoffs for some reason.
Oh, okay.
So if they do that, definitely.
Then it doesn't matter.
No, so I don't know if that's a deal. I think you just want to try to get the Islanders, but yeah, you better take the Devils as much as you can this week because it's not getting easy.
So predictions: 4 games this week.
4 games this week.
All at home.
I'm going to be, that Boston's tough too. They play New Jersey and Boston back-to-back Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to be optimistic this week and say 3-1.
3-1.
I'm going to say they take Boston and you take 2 games against New Jersey.
Okay.
And I'm going to regret that next week, but that's what I'm going with right now.
I'm going to say 4-0.
Get out of here. Do you ever want to be right?
I'm saying 4-0.
Oh, no way. But all right. Harry's saying 4-0. It's on the tape. I'm going to say I'm being optimistic and I'm saying 3-1.
We'll come back to this next week. 4-0. I have faith. I'm a true fan.
Yeah, I don't have that much faith. I have realistic faith.
Well, let's see. Next week will be a lot tougher.
Yep.
The week after.
Also next week, I thought of a fun thing I'm going to do. I'm going to give the Penguins awards to the players. I was going to do it mid-season, but we just started this podcast mid-season, so I'm going to do it next week.
Can I suggest the name for
Yes.
the awards?
Mhm.
The Joeys.
The Joeys.
The
Like the
Joeys.
Dundies. We may call them the Joeys.
The Joeys.
And I'm going to make a trophy.
So next week's the Joeys. So
The
definitely tune in.
Joeys, where I grade the Penguins players' mid-season performances and hand out awards to different things like who I think improved, who surprised me, who let me down.
Tune in to the Joeys.
Yes.
I'll wear my
gets
suit
Joey
shirt
next week. Okay. We'll dress up bow tie occasion for that one. WVU.
All right.
Kind of some big news this week for WVU. I'm gonna butcher this name. I know it. Kyrie Gondrit. Oh my god. Gondrazik. Basketball player for women's WVU basketball, was drafted 4th overall in the WNBA. It's the first time in franchise history it's ever happened. So that's
Congrats.
pretty
That's
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Bring some publicity to WVU women's basketball.
Yeah.
Women's basketball, I feel like all you hear about is UConn. That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
UConn and Baylor a little bit.
it's a situation too. Now, I'm not a basketball fan, so I can't speak to it much, men or women. I watch March Madness. That's about it. But I feel like when it comes to women's sports, they just don't get the TV coverage.
Yeah.
I don't know if they need a channel. Maybe they need a channel. I don't know.
Mhm.
Do a YouTube thing. I mean, YouTube's hot. Hey, someone get together and monetize a YouTube thing sponsored by WNBA or college athletics where you stream women's college games.
Yeah.
And sponsor them.
Get them out there.
Yeah, we'll be a sponsor. H&J Talk Sports will sponsor WVU women's basketball. Big news, though. I wish I knew how to pronounce her name right. Kyrie.
It's all right.
Kyrie.
You're just digging it deeper.
Should I stop? Someone tweet, let me know. Let me know how you say your name. I feel so bad. But it's awesome news. 4th overall. Huge. West Virginia football. Defensive back Charles Woods commits to transfer to WVU from Illinois State. So
Transfer portal.
It giveth and it taketh.
I think it's taketh a lot more than it's giveth.
I was going to say, I still think it taketh more, but there's hey, fill some of the open spots we have. DB Charles Woods. Apparently, I don't know anything about him, but from what I was reading, he went to Illinois State and he dominated. He showed out at a smaller school, and now he's ready for a bigger move. So
yeah, he played 4 games, had 2 interceptions, 20 tackles. 6'1", 175. Let's see. He's going to get tested. It's the Big 12. So
Big 12 and coming to a team that was maybe the best defensive team in Big 12 last year.
yeah,
So
you're gonna get tested.
Charles Woods, what can you do?
Let's see it, man.
Very soon, because the Gold Blue game is Saturday, April 24th. So
Get to finally get an outlook. Should be interesting.
they're selling tickets. I'm not sure if you can stream it. I'm guessing you can stream it.
It's usually streamed.
So we'll have to watch that and see if we notice anything.
Yeah.
We're getting closer. What month is this? It's April. We're not that close yet. But start counting the months. Feels like we're close.
The weather's getting warmer. It's feeling summer's coming.
I guess we still got that 3-month lull.
We're crawling there, but we're getting there.
We're crawling there. We just got to come up with what we got. 4 more months. 32 something more shows until football starts.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get there?
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll see it.
Well, that sums up all that stuff this week. Well, before we go into, I was going to talk about that Triller fight a little bit that let me down. But before we get into that, we do have one viewer question this week. Disappointingly, one. Guys, come on. But our one viewer question actually came from Twitter this week, from Ben Shields _1632. I hope that's not the year you were born in, Ben. or maybe it was. You're an old guy. Ben asks, what do you think the Steelers' wide receiver depth is this year? So I'm interpreting that tongue twister as what's I guess the Steelers depth chart. Where do we rank everyone on wide receiver? Who's number 1? Who's 2? Who's 3?
I think the Steelers' depth is good at wide receiver. They got a lot of unproven guys, but they got guys that can play. Deontay Johnson, he started off hot, took a step back, but he's got potential to be good. I think he'll bounce back. Chase Claypool, he started the year really hot, and he's got potential to be a baller. So, I mean, you get those guys going. Juju has stuff to prove. James Washington, man, he's been a little disappointing, but I've always felt like he can play.
See, I don't feel like he's been as disappointing as I don't feel like he's been given the chance. I feel like he's been used very limited. Every time they've used him, I feel like he's done good. But I feel like
he's shown flashes. He's got potential.
I don't know if he's gotten the chance to show more than that.
I just feel like one of these years he's going to come on and, be a good quality.
He's got some speed.
Starter.
He might low key be the fastest. He breaks away on those routes.
He is probably, I don't know, Chase Claypool has showed a lot, but I'd say between Claypool and Washington, best like jump ball one-on-one are those two. I mean, in college, James Washington was crazy.
Yeah.
Top wide receiver. But we'll see. I think the wide receiver is good. They don't need to make a lot of moves. I think as far on offense, that's probably our strongest position.
Yeah. So who's your number 1 and who's your number 2 wide receiver on the depth chart starting the season?
I mean, Juju's number 1, but that can change. I think Deontay or Chase can take over that if they produce.
It was funny. I remember last year, a lot of people and announcers in football were saying Deontay Johnson was the true number 1, and he emerged. And then he kind of got injured and fell off.
He had the case of the drops last year.
And then he got the case of the drops with everyone else.
But with Johnson and Claypool, they can provide a deep threat that I don't think Juju can do. Yeah. Juju's a big bruiser. He's going to be a safety. He's going to be down in the middle.
Mid-yardage, third down.
Claypool is big and fast.
Claypool, for some reason, reminds me a lot of Juju when Antonio Brown was here. I feel like Chase Claypool has the makings to be a really good number 2 wide receiver. I don't think he's a number 1, but I feel like he could be a top-notch Super Bowl team number 2 wide receiver.
I think I feel like he could be a number 1. I feel like he has a little more raw athleticism than Juju, but we'll see.
He could be better than Juju, but I still think Juju's a number 2. I don't think Juju's a number 1 wide receiver. I think Juju was a perfect number 2, and I think that's why we've seen him drop off.
We got a bunch of number 2s. I mean, I don't disagree. They got to show it. Hey, I think.
Yeah, Claypool could step up and be number 1. I think Deontay Johnson has the most potential to be a number 1.
All 3 of them can be a number 1. They can step up and play and be a number 1. But we'll see. I think they got. They can do it. They're all good players. Quality players. I mean, guys that can cause trouble week in and week out. They just got to be consistent throughout the year and keep improving.
Yeah.
Maybe with the new offense, it'll help them.
That's true. We'll see what the new offensive coordinator does with those guys.
Yeah.
Let's have some new schemes, see James Washington more.
One thing this season, get the run established, get some people in the box will help.
That'll help a lot. If you're fearing the run as a defensive team, it opens up wide receivers.
Last year, teams knew all we could do was pass, so it was tough. So hopefully this year, draft Harris maybe, get the run game established, and could be a good year. It'll help the receivers too.
Could be a good year. Over 9, I'm optimistic. So we'll see. We'll see.
If healthy, I can see.
If they're healthy, I mean, yeah, you run into that problem any year though. You could say that you could have a Super Bowl team, and if they're not healthy,
I just think 9 is like the perfect number. If I would predict how many wins, I would say 9. So it's tough because when you get less than 9, I don't think you make the playoffs. Above 9, I think you make the playoffs.
Definitely not in our you don't make
7 teams. So I mean that's key. That's tough. We'll see.
Yeah. Triller. Jake Paul knocked out Ben Askren for some reason.
I guess it's
let me down.
Is it sports news or is it entertainment?
It's entertainment. I don't know what it is.
I'm not surprised.
I know Ben Askren was getting a lot of flack for his punching, and he's a wrestler and he doesn't box. But like I'm like, this is a professional champion fighter. And
He's
it's Jake
probably
Paul.
he has the worst stand-up of any guy I've ever seen in the UFC. Maybe the other guy, that Chase Hopper or Hooper, whatever his name is, kind of little kid-looking guy. But Ben's right there.
I
So
was
in a boxing match, I was not surprised at all he got torn.
I was surprised how slow he looked.
Did you see how he looked at the weigh-ins with muffin top and everything? The guy was not going to win. The guy was not in shape. He came from retirement. He was done. He got his payday.
I'm going to say something, and I don't like to say this. Do you think he took a dive?
I don't think he took a dive.
Did you see the video of him afterwards?
He was smiling.
Him and his wife looked elated.
Of course, the guy made the most money he's ever made in any fight. But if you watch the video, I saw there was one angle from that was like ringside. He was wobbling at first.
The punch looked good to me. I'm not saying the punch looked bad. The punch looked like it was a real good punch, and I could see how it dropped him. It's just when he was walking right after him and his wife looked elated. I'm like, why do you look so happy? You just like Jake Paul.
When I first watched it, as I was watching it, and I saw him go down, and then I saw them take out, my first reaction was he took a dive.
Yeah.
Because it looked like, I thought he was back up and he was ready to go again. And it just, they had some kind of agreement with the ref that, if he goes down, that's it. But
he did look a little wobbly.
I saw the other angle from the other side, and I saw him get up. The ref comes up to him, asking if he's okay, steps away from him, and Ben starts wobbling like towards the ref. So I felt, okay.
He was wobbly.
If a guy can't stand, if the guy's wobbling, you fight's over.
I don't know. That was I don't know. I don't know what you do at this point. Jake Paul's out of control and needs to be stopped. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Jake Paul's got a good he's got a good money making plan. You fight a bunch of people that have never boxed.
He does. Here's my problem with it though. That's cool. If you want to do that and you want to knock out these people, it's cool. But it annoys me because after every fight, he's like, people don't understand. I'm taking this seriously. I'm a professional boxer. I'm serious about this. I train. You haven't fought a boxer yet, dude. You fought a basketball player and you fought a wrestler. To me, that doesn't say you're taking boxing professionally. I can't say you're a great boxer. I haven't seen you fight a boxer. Fight a boxer.
He's making the money.
A low-level boxer.
It's
fight someone that knows how to box.
I think he would lose to most amateur boxers.
Dylan Dennis wants to fight him now. Does Dylan Dennis beat him?
Dylan Dennis has terrible stand-up as well. I don't like Dylan Dennis.
Does Connor beat him?
Connor would beat him.
You think? Does Nunes beat him?
Amanda Nunes? No.
You don't think?
As good as she is.
I'm not one of those people.
There's just between males and females.
I know there is. And I'm not one of those people that say, allow women to compete. I love you, ladies. But listen, if you take a guy and a female that have trained equally, the guy will blast her every time because there is a different muscle makeup. But Amanda Nunes, I feel like it's not equal to Jake Paul. She's kind of a beast. And he's like, I wouldn't put her up. Like there's people that want to see her fight a professional MMA fighter, man. I think she'd lose every time. But against someone like Jake Paul, who's been training for a couple months, you don't think she could beat him?
In MMA, yes. In boxing, no.
You don't think she could box him?
No. She's not a boxer.
MMA, definitely. She could definitely take him down in jiu-jitsu.
In MMA, when she could take him down and use jiu-jitsu and work him that way, I think she would win. But in boxing, the guy, he trains. I think he would be. It's not a good look. I've never been for having men and female. I don't like the way it looks.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good image.
I don't either. I just want to see him get knocked out by somebody.
I get it. I don't know. I'd like to see him fight a fighter that can actually is a stand-up fighter, not a wrestler, not a grappler, Dylan Dennis is he's a jiu-jitsu guy. He's not a stand-up guy. Fight if you want to fight, you have to
This
fight
is a good
somebody that
point now
stands
too.
up.
Is it worth it to fight Jake Paul for anybody? Because
Yes.
now, after he knocked out Ben, I know the money's there, but as a fighter, if you lose to Jake Paul, it's kind of freaking embarrassing.
Jake Paul, I'll fight you. I'm fat and out of shape. I'll get paid.
I know you'll fight him. I know I'll fight him. I'll take the jaw hit for that bet.
Of course.
But as a professional fighter, I mean, MMA community is looking bad right now, and they were outraged by Ben Askren getting knocked out because it makes them not look good.
I bet you Ben Askren probably made 5 times.
He got paid, but as a professional,
3 to 5 times more than his highest payday.
But as a professional MMA fighter, made him look bad as a community.
He's done. Who cares? He's getting paid.
Him, but the rest of them. So now, as someone that's going to step up, if you get knocked out, it's kind of
to a casual fan. Yes, it looks bad on the UFC. But if you're if you're an actual fan of the UFC and you know
he wasn't a boxer.
It's you know he's not. That's not his. He was a wrestler.
I think the casual fan is more important here.
He could take it. Not to mention another thing that I think that has been overlooked a lot is Jake Paul was like 190 pounds.
Oh yeah,
and Askren fought at 170.
Yeah,
that's a big difference. So not only are they fighting in a discipline that Askren hasn't fought in, and Askren's been training to wrestle, take somebody down, takes hits, take somebody down, not stand up. The guy is significantly bigger, and when you're fighting, that's what makes it.
Would it be worth it for McGregor to take that fight?
I don't know how much they pay him. You'd have to pay McGregor a lot for him to take that
But he's
fight.
someone he struggled in his last few UFC fights. So since he's looking at the end of his UFC career, perhaps this could be a way to make some money.
If he loses this fight in July, maybe.
You think he goes fight Jake Paul?
I think he's taking some pretty bad hits.
Yeah.
It's hard to get that hunger when you're filthy rich. To wake up.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see a lot with him. What we saw with what's her name? Remind me, female fighter.
Rousey.
Ronda Rousey. It's similar path. She kind of blew up. She started making movie cameos, and then you just saw the drive go away, and then she got knocked out.
I'm not a fan of Floyd, but I'll say Floyd. He was making tons and tons of money, boatloads of money. But man, that guy kept the same intensity when he was starting his career as he did when he was getting close to 50. I mean, he trained night and day, worked hard.
And that's one fight that makes me think McGregor could take Jake Paul. He lost and he got technically beat, but he stood with Floyd. So I feel like he could knock out a YouTuber.
I think I've heard other boxers say that he's not very good.
That's what I've heard. I've heard he got his ass handed to him in his sparring sessions.
No, I'm talking about McGregor. I mean, Jake Paul.
McGregor?
I've heard that too.
Yeah, but McGregor can punch.
I think Floyd just made it more of a show.
Yeah, I mean, McGregor, again, he might not be a technical boxer, but for Jake Paul, he can punch and he can take a punch.
Yeah, I would like to see it.
You don't need to technically box Jake Paul.
I would give Jake Paul more respect for beating a guy like Conor than a guy like
Ben Askren, who's 36 years old with a muffin top and has never boxed before.
Dude was done. He just wanted to get his money.
He got his money. His wife looked happy after he got knocked out.
But
she looked elated. They just bought a new house. So
since we're on fighting, UFC 261's next week.
Is it? Boy, I feel like these are rolling by. And that's a good one too, isn't it?
We can do some predictions.
Let's do it.
Main card. The first fight's Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Crute. Then got Uriah Hall, Chris Weidman, Shevchenko versus Andrade, Wei Lee versus Namajunas, and then Masvidal and Usman. So, good card.
A really good card.
Good card. You think this fight's any different? Now he's got a longer fight camp.
Nope. I think Usman's just a monster. Technically, he's a monster. His technical game is just so. There's been a few fights where he's looked weak early on, and then he just his technical abilities take over, and he's too good. George Masvidal is more of a brawler. He's one of the best brawlers, but he's more of a brawler. Usman's his technical game is just so strong. I don't think Masvidal can win.
Usman's elite. He's one of these guys that come around that's going to
Yeah.
be champ for a long time.
He reminds me of John
Masvidal,
Jones. When you see John Jones fight people, the level's just so different.
yeah,
It's crazy how far above everyone else John Jones is, and I feel like Usman's kind of like that as well, where his technical ability is just so far above everybody.
yeah, I agree. I mean, Usman's a big favorite.
The
Minus
one thing I will
400.
give Masvidal is he's got unpredictability and he's a brawler. He could maybe pull out a KO or something. I
I
don't think
agree.
he's going to win technically.
I think one difference in this fight is that he's going to have that gas tank. Last fight, he was tired after the first round
Yeah.
because he cut all that weight in such a short period of time. This time, he's gonna have that threat to knock him out. I think that it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't see Usman standing up with Masvidal because I think Masvidal can beat him stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe Usman will try it in the first round, see it's not working. That might be Masvidal's chance.
Yeah. To get him early while he's still
And then
trying to
Usman's
go
going to
toe-to-toe.
go and he's going to put him down. I think he's going to finish him.
You think he'll
Third,
finish
fourth
him?
round. Yeah, I'll say fourth round.
Submission? Hmm?
Could be
Pound him out.
strikes, could ground and pound. I would say ground and pound more likely. I don't see it going well.
Wei Lee, easy victory there.
Namajunas is a striker. I like Whaley. She's tough. I'm a good Whaley.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Wei. I like Rose too. I think she's been pretty good, but I don't think she's got Wei Lee. She's not
Her
that
problem is, man, she's good. She's talented. But I don't know. I feel like when she gets hit, it really shows
She's
on
tiny.
her.
It does. She doesn't take punches well. That's true.
Like when she gets hit, I mean, she looks like she gets messed up. So
Yeah.
I think if it comes down to decision, that's gonna make a big difference. Whaley's a really good striker, and she's powerful. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll go decision, but I think Whaley's gonna win.
Yep, I'll go Wei Lee. Shevchenko, no contest.
Yeah, the girl she's fighting strong, but
Look at that neck
Shevchenko,
on her picture. Holy crap. She
her
has
arms are
3 necks.
freaking crazy strong. But Shevchenko's gonna win.
Yep.
She's like Nunes.
I predict we'll hear the pre-fight build-up interviews. She's never felt punches from anyone like me before.
It'd be a boring fight.
She's never. They all say that, and then
She's gonna win all 5 rounds.
yep, all 5 rounds. Yep, I'll go that. Shevchenko easy. This next one might be not bad. Uriah Hall, Chris Weidman.
Yeah, Weidman. I don't know. I remember when he beat Silva those 2 times. He lost Rockhold. I'll go Weidman, but
I'm gonna take Hall on that one.
Weidman's a good wrestler. We'll see. Be an interesting fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anthony Smith, Jimmy Crute. I haven't seen this Jimmy Crute before.
I haven't either. I have no idea in this fight. I don't even recall watching Anthony Smith.
Anthony Smith, his last fight, I think he fought Glover Teixeira, and he just got mauled.
I'm sure I saw it, but I can't recall it at all.
I'm gonna go Jimmy Crute.
We'll go Jimmy Crute too. New guy, 12-1, looking to make a name for himself. I don't remember Anthony Smith, but 34-16, he's been around for a while. He's seen some wars. You said he got mauled. Let's go Jimmy Crute. So where we disagree at, I'm picking Hall, you're picking Weidman.
That's the only fight we disagree.
Yep. I guess let's make it a little more interesting. So on Usman and Masvidal, I want a percentage. What percentage you got Usman wins? So we both have Usman, but let's see how far we're leaning Usman. We'll do it in intervals too. You got 25% Usman, 50, 75, 100% Usman. What are you going?
I'd give it like
90?
95%. I think, yeah, it's very unlikely. I think Masvidal's only chances that he can catch him with a strike.
Okay.
But Usman's decent stand-up. He's getting better. He's been working on that. So
I'll go more
I'm
conservative.
going to say 4th round finish for Usman.
I'll go 80%. You're calling 4th round. I'll call. I'm going to say they go to the distance.
You'd say decision.
Decision, Usman wins.
We'll see. Should be good.
We'll see.
I want to see
H&J Talk Sports.
Yep. Good week.
Good week. We had a lot to talk about this week, much more than last week. I don't know how long the show's been, but I feel like it's been long.
Yeah.
If you're not following, if this is your first time watching, or if you're a returning watcher and you haven't subscribed yet, you should definitely subscribe because it helps the channel out. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Go watch the other videos. Binge them on your way to work. Go on Spotify, Google Podcasts, your favorite podcast platform. Listen to H&J Talk Sports all day. If you're already following us and you listen every week and you're subscribed, man, do we appreciate you tuning in, and we hope you like the show. And you should leave us a comment. Let us know you watch every week because that's what we would like to hear from you.
Yep. Like, comment, subscribe. Send us some questions.
Like, comment, subscribe. Send us some questions.
One more show till the draft.
One more show till the draft where we go live on Instagram for the first round, right?
Yep.
There we go. Tune in next week for the Joeys where we rate the Penguin, or I give my Penguin Player Awards.
Big show.
Big show. That's all for this week, Harry.
All right.
Next time.
See you, everybody. Peace.
Peace.